Right guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we have a Warhammer 30,000 Horus Heresey battle report. Today I'm taking on Graham's Iron Warriors, and the mission is the Relic. Kaya Valen has been called by something in that box. The Iron Warriors have been laying siege to the city for days. The only thing left standing is a small cybernetic cohort of the mechanicum. So the Relic is right in the middle. There's some sewage running around. The city has been blown apart. Let's see if he can make it to the Relic, or whether or not the mechanicum can stop him from obtaining it. Let's have a look at the armies. Right, so here we go. I'm trying out the Legio Cybernetica detachment. It does mean that you have to take 2 units of 2 Castellax as your basic troop. We've got the Archmagus there. He has a photon gauntlet and a Cyber Familiar granting him a 3+ save. He is joining 2 Castellax there with Mauler bolt cannons and bolt guns. Both of them have been equipped with enhanced targeting arrays. We've got 2 Darkfire Castellax, a unit of 2 there, with just bolt guns, Darkfire cannons and enhanced targeting arrays as well. For the rest of the troops, we've got 2 units of 3 Thalax. In each unit is a single photon thruster. Down here we've got a unit of 4 Thalax, each with heavy chain blades and just standard lightning cannons. We've then got a unit of 2 Voraks with rotor cannons and lightning guns, and again they've both got enhanced targeting arrays, as have the other 2 here. We've then got the Thanatar, just the standard Thanatar with a Helix Plasma Mortar, and he's also got an enhanced targeting array. So that is the mechanicum Legio Cybernetica taking on Graham's Iron Warriors today.
Right, so I'm taking on Harry's mechanicum. So what I've got with me today, I've got Kaya Valen, he's my warlord, hoping for good things from him. And I've got 3 squadrons of Iron Warriors. One of them's got a Power Fist and a Vexella. And then I've got my artillery here, which is 3 quad heavy bolters. And then moving on to the real deal, because I'm taking one of the Rights of Olympia, I can take 4 heavy support choices if I take 3 troop choices. So what I've got for my heavy support, I've got a Vindicator, standard Vindicator. I've got the Sicarian Venerator. This is an excellent anti-tank thing, so not much cop in this particular battle. Then I've got my Sicarian there with las cannons, and then a Fire Raptor with the auto cannons. Rhino to get one of the squads at least, kind of close to stuff, and a handy defence line to hide behind.
Right, so welcome back. The mechanicum have deployed first. We've got one of the unit of 3 Thalax in this corner. We've got the 2 Castellax with the Darkfire, looking to hurtle in some shots across the table. We've then got the 2 Castellax and the Warlord at the front there. Any of my units within 3 inches of the objective gain preferred enemy. We've got the 4 Thalax ready to run forward to rush and grab that objective. We've then got the Thanatar and the last 3 Thalax just on the outside. Meanwhile, Graham's counter deployment looking across the city. He's got the Rhino with 10 Marines in there. One of the tanks looking to start popping away at them Castellax straight through there. Sakaran's going to be moving out to deal some damage when the mechanicum move forward. The Iron Warriors have set up an Aegis gun line all the way along, looking down down the main street of the city, the relic in the centre. We've got his weapon batteries ready to support them. And then on the outskirts on this side, we've got the other squad, along with the Vindicator and the Big Nasty. In reserves, the Fire Raptor and the Vorax. So, it's currently Mechanicum turn 1. Right, so after the movement phase, everything is pushed forward. The Castellax and the Warlord are getting a 6-inch move through the cover, and they're looking to get onto the objective. The Thalax here got a 5-inch run, and are just about in base to base with it. Meanwhile, shooting from this unit, managed to bring down quite a few of the Marines behind the Aegis defence line. Graham passing a couple of his cover saves. The Thalax at the back here, the Photon Thruster decided to take aim at the weapons battery. No wound was done, however, they are now blinded. The Thalax unit at this side of the board just looking to start a manoeuvre around, maybe go for the Rhino or the Sakaran on that side. The Darkfire Castellax here could just about see the Vindicator through the ruins. Despite getting 4 hits, no damage was done at all. But lastly, the Thanatar dropped his Helix Plasma Mortar here, getting a direct hit, killing 2 of the Marines, penetrating the Vindicator and blowing the Demolisher Cannon off the front of it. So, not a bad round of shooting at all. The Marines, however, the nerve has held and they are standing strong, ready to retaliate. Let's have a look at what jetpack moves the Thalax make. Alright, so the jetpack moves the Thalax, just moving round, maybe to intercept and put a gap in the way so the Warlord can collect the relic. These guys have jetpack moved forward as well. Unfortunately, one of them took a wound as he hit the wall going in. And these guys as well, again just moving forward slightly, ready to anticipate the onslaught of firepower from the Iron Warrior. Right, so Iron Warriors turn 1, and they've spread out around the flank. They've heard something coming from the sides, and they've moved around ready to anticipate the Vorax coming in. The Warlord and the Vindicator have moved into the ruins there. I think Graham's probably going to look to try and repair the Vindicator. The Venator, meanwhile, is looking straight across the plaza at the Castellax and the Thalax that are hurtling towards the relic. Over this side, the Sakaran has just swiveled to meet some of the Thalax, and the Rhino just pushing round the side of the street there to meet the ones on the other side there. So we are expecting a big retaliation from this gun line. Let's see what damage the Iron Warriors are going to do to us. Right, so shooting phase for the Iron Warriors. The Marines are hurrying to try and stop the Vorax from coming on this side. Meanwhile, the Warlord has tried to repair the Vindicator cannon. Unfortunately, Graham didn't manage to repair that. Down here, the Venator unloaded his cannon straight onto the Thalax here and insta-killed one of them, the other one making his cover save. The line of Marines and the weapon batteries decided to unload on the Thalax coming up the street and managed to put a wound on each of the front guys down there. Meanwhile, the Sakaran supported the Venator, and between the heavy bolters, the last cannon and the accelerator auto cannon managed to bring down 2 Thalax. That one guy passing his pinning and his leadership check. Meanwhile, the Rhino on this side just pulling round. The Marines probably looking to intercept those Thalax next turn. So that's it for Iron Warriors turn 1. Let's move into Mechanicum turn 2. Right, so for reserves, we've got 1 unit of Vorax outflanking on this side where the Marines are. Like we said, we heard that they were coming. However, the rotor cannons and the lightning guns will hopefully start to make a dent in them. They are going to have to attack these due to being out of the 24-inch Cortex range, but maybe we can pull them back next turn, as they are going to have to go after these if we get rid of the Marines. In the centre here, the Castellax and the Warlord only got a 3-inch move through cover, and the Thalax are pushing forward again to try and neuter that gun line. Looking up the street, we know the tanks are going to do a lot of damage to us. I'm hoping that we can neuter Graham's infantry before he gets them to the relic. The one Thalax that was left standing has moved across and picked it up, ready to start making a beeline for our deployment zone. Meanwhile, the Thalax on this side, we're looking to hopefully pop that Rhino if we can and slow down the Marines' advance on this flank. So, as it stands, we've got a small detachment on each flank. We've got a large, tough centre, and we've got a solid back gun line. And Graham's Iron Warriors are definitely laying siege to this city, spreading out, causing us to divide up and knock Castle down. Let's move on to shooting. Right, so down on this flank, the rotor cannons and the lightning guns from the Vorax pumping into the Marines. Unfortunately, cut 3 of them down there. Have, however, stayed their nerve and looking probably to draw the Vorax away from the tanks next turn. Meanwhile, looking up the centre of the street, the Magus cast Riot of Destruction on one of the Castellax again, due to the other one not being able to fire. And between him and the Thalax, we've managed to blind the artillery again, as well as put 2 wounds on them. The Thalax here also took a pot shot, but failed to wound. Over here, the Castellax could see the Sakaran in the distance that had cut down the Thalax last turn and took shots at it. One of them managed to blow the last cannon off the side. Meanwhile, the Thanatar could still see the Vindicator at this side, hiding in the ruins, and we managed to immobilise it. We did get a scatter on the Warlord hiding there at the back, but unfortunately failed to wound. And on this side, the Thalax managed to get a single penetrating hit on the Rhino, and we managed to shake it, so it's not going to be firing. That's it for the shooting phase. Let's move on to the assault jumps. We've got some assault jumps to make with the Thalax. Right, so the Thalax are moving up the front of the street, looking to draw the fire from the artillery and the tanks, whilst the Castellax provide a screen for the Thalax to run away with the objective. He got a 6-inch jetpack move. He couldn't have gone more than 6 anyway, so that was brilliant. The Castellax are going to stay in the centre, providing a tough target for Graham's artillery and weapons to shoot at. The Thalax over this side just pulling back away from the Marines. We want to try and avoid the firepower from the Marines and the Sakaran in the distance through the ruins. So let's move on to Iron Warriors, turn 2. Right, so Iron Warriors turn 2. The Fire Raptor has turned up. It's going to be laying down some firepower indeed. An auto cannon at them, a bolt cannon at the Castellax, and the other auto cannon probably at them Thalax there. The Rhino, meanwhile, is still pushing forward. I think Graham's going to be looking to get line breaker potentially. Them Thalax there going to be under heavy fire. Meanwhile, down this side, the lone Marine just hanging back, biding his time, while the Sakaran is looking across. The Thalax have now made the move into the centre, and the plan's working. The Thalax are going to sacrifice themselves to all of this firepower so that the other one can potentially get away. The Venator also looking across at the onslaughted machine coming towards them. Right, it's been a devastating turn. We've taken many casualties. The Fire Raptor has come in and laid its firepower down, destroying one of the Thalax with a photon thruster. They have, however, passed their leadership check. The bolt cannon on the front, hurtling in and damaging this Castellax. He's half blown apart now, he's only on 2 wounds. Meanwhile, in the centre, they took the entire weapons battery and the Sakaran looking across the street there to blow the Thalax apart, which is good because they drew Graham's firepower away from the Warlord and the Castellax. The Thalax on this side, however, was cut down to the autocannon on this side. The Venator could just spy the Castellax over in the ruins there and managed to get another wound through on one of them. The Warlord in the movement phase did join the unit of Marines and he's tried to repair the Vindicator again. Unfortunately, Graham failed to repair it again. The Marines here are readying themselves to charge in. There's a melter bomb in there and the Warlord can insta-kill them with a Paragon Blade. And they're looking to charge the Vorax. The Vorax took fire from the bolters, but managed to pass their armour saves. So that was it for the shooting. It was a devastating turn indeed. We've lost most of our manoeuvrability now. Let's move on to the assaults. Wow, this combat went so wrong. I managed to get a single wound on Overwatch and Graham passed his armour save. He did make it in. The Vorax got to swing first and managed to cut down 4 of the Marines altogether. And then Graham's Warlord got to swing with that Paragon Blade. Where's he at? There. And to wound, he's just rolled that. So both the Vorax have been cut down. Nasty, nasty blow. So with that devastating blow of losing the Vorax, the Warlord, the Archmagus Dominus, had to come back and pick up the relic himself. And meanwhile he's relying on the power of his cybernetic machines around him to support him and help him get that objective off the board. We've got the 2 Thalax as well, just pulling back to meet the Warlord in the hopes of being able to assist him with getting that objective back. Right, down here the lightning guns on the Vorax managed to get a single glance on the Sakaran down there. I'm hoping Graham has to turn his fire on them and divert it away from the centre. The rest of the shooting didn't go that amazingly. The lightning guns on the Thalax managed to blow up in this Rhino, and then we cast Rite of Destruction on that Castellax there, and the Mauler Bolt Cannon managed to cut down 5 of the Marines. They have passed their leadership test though. Meanwhile, the Venator here, the Thanatar back there, and both Darkfire Castellax shot in. We only got a single pen, and unfortunately blew off one of the heavy bolters. I contemplated putting the pie plate on the artillery here, but I elected against it. I'm more scared of the almost guaranteed wounds from this thing as opposed to that wound and the others on 6s. So the only thing that we've done is move the Thalax with the jetpack moves back. I only got a 5, I needed a bit more really, and I think I might end up losing them. But let's move on to Iron War. Alright, let's move into Iron Warriors turn 3 and see what damage Graham is going to do to the blasted apart robots of the mechanicum. Alright, so the Marines down there, moving around the back there, probably looking, I don't know, line breaker, or are they going to try and tie the Thanatar up? Who knows? But that is going to score Graham line breaker. Don't get rid of him. He's also got First Blood currently as well. The Sakaran has moved through the ruins. Being a friendly game, we are just treating the Sakaran as being 4 inches further back than what it actually is, and he's looking probably to start whittling away at the Castellax, seeing if he can take them out. The Lone Sergeant just running alongside, bolt gun blazing up, at the Castellax hurtling down. The Venator pulling sideways. What's he going for? Is he going for those 2 Thalax? Is he going for the Castellax? Don't know. There's a lot of wounds to eat through here in the middle before he gets to the Warlord and the Relic. We'll have to see how much damage he can do. The Fire Raptor pulling forward, probably looking to shoot the auto cannons off at the Castellax there. Down here, the Marines moving back, looking. Graham's Warlord's looking to repair the destroyed Demolisher cannon of the Vindicator. 3rd time lucky, Graham. Does he do it? Yes. He does. Yes. So that's a strength 10 shot going straight there. It can't move anywhere, but it's got its gun.
I think it actually happens next turn, mate.
And with that, there was an eruption along the gun line with the Iron Warriors, the bolt guns, the Venator, the Sakaran, and even the Lone Sergeant there took down one of the Castellax. It took a lot of firepower, but ultimately it was that Lone Sergeant's bolt gun getting a wound and me failing the 3-up armor save. Luckily, I don't need to take a pin and test due to Monstrous Creatures not able to go to the ground. So, going on to mechanicum, turn 4, and we haven't got a lot left. The Fire Raptor even put a single wound on one of the Castellax in the ruins. Right, down here the Vorax were chasing down the Sakaran. Only one of them within range with the lightning gun, unfortunately didn't do any damage. In the end, it was the Thanatar that dropped his Helix Plasma Mortar and managed to get a pen, causing the wreckage of the Sakaran. The only other thing that happened was the 2 Thalax here moved forward, tried to take down these Marines, but unfortunately failed to do any damage. The Darkfire Castellax did take a pot shot through at the Sakaran, however, before the Thanatar dropped his mortar. The Castellax here is unable to shoot due to me using Cyberthurgy last turn to cast Rite of Destruction. So the Iron Warriors are advancing, they are chasing us back, but we do have the relic. That is it for the turn, I think. Dare I charge them? Oh, I think not. He's got a power fist, but he might charge me. I don't know what I want to do. Let's jetpack them back this way in order to support the Warlord. Alright, so the only movement that Grim's done in turn 4 is pull the Venator and the Fire Raptor to bear on that Castellax and then potentially take out the Warlord with that objective there. So that is it. However, this is now going to be firing as well. What a turn of firepower indeed. The Fire Raptor's Avenger Bolt Cannon stripping a wound from the Castellax. Managed to lose 1 from all the bolt of fire back here as well. And in the end, this guy got 2 hits, 2 wounds, and I passed 1 of my 5-up invuns, so he is still alive, standing defiant, protecting the Warlord with the relic. The only other thing that happened was the Marines over this side shot and tried to charge the Thalax. No damage was done, and the auto cannons here shooting at the Castellax in the ruins there as well. Again, no damage. This turn is going to be absolutely critical for both armies. Let's see what happens in turn 5. Right, so in the movement phase, the Castellax is detached, the Magus has then joined the Thanatar, and the Castellax there is pulled back into the cover. I was keeping him for the ruin save, however, I think I should have charged him at the Fire Raptor. Shooting phase, the 2 Thalax here tried to do some damage to these Marines, chased them off, and unfortunately didn't chase them. However, the Thanatar cast Rite of Destruction and managed to blow up the Venator that was in the middle. 2 pens with 2 hits, bringing it down. So we've got the Darkfire cannons to go into the Fire Raptor, and then that Castellax is going to go in as well, see if he can do some damage as well. Right, so the rest of the shooting phase, the Darkfire cannons here, the one that was left on 2 wounds, managed to roll a Get Hot and failed his armor save. However, we did manage to get an immobilized penetrating hit on the Fire Raptor. The other Castellax managed to get a single glance with his Mauler Bolt Cannon and charged in and managed to get a penetrating hit with Smash. Unfortunately, didn't blow it up, so the Fire Raptor is now immobilized, but he's in a reasonable shooting position. So Graham's going to have to do some nasty work, I think, to try and get rid of the Thanatar with the Warlord and the Relic. Right, so just in the middle of Graham's turn here, Sergeant Crazy has come forward and yet again wounded another Castellax. That one was on its last wound, so he has been cut down. The Fire Raptor unloaded its bolt cannon at the Thanatar and no damage was done. We lost Castellax here to the auto cannons on this side. The Vindicator, however, shot his Demolisher cannon, going for the Castellax, scattered onto the Warlord, Graham wounded, so it was a 3-up invuln, and I passed it just. Graham almost stole the game away because the Thanatar and the Castellax can't hold the objective. So there we go, that is the end of the game. The Archmagus Dominus preventing the Iron Warriors from gaining the relic there. What an absolute stormer of a game. Thoroughly enjoyed playing Graham. His Iron Warriors are phenomenally painted, and the firepower that they dish out is fantastic indeed. Yeah, big thank you very much to Graham for playing this game of Heresy. If you're interested in playing Heresy games, check out Durham Raiders. I'll post a link in the description. Today's game is filmed at Durham Raiders. There's quite a few lads got Heresy armies as well. So please check them out. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next battle report.